Welcome to the Global Pulse, a short video series where our experts break down a trending topic in international business and why it matters to you.
I'm sure it is obvious to just about everyone that the pandemic has had a major impact on aviation. Passenger counts are down by over 90% worldwide. 4 small US carriers have ceased operations or gone bankrupt. Worldwide, the number is much larger. The airlines have very substantially reduced their cash burn. At this point, it's 60% of what it used to be, and it is expected to be reduced much more in the future. So what does the future hold? Well, we would expect international demand to come back later than domestic demand, and domestically, leisure travel is already starting to come back just a little bit, but certainly that will come back before business. This is not the greatest scenario for airlines because they make more money on international travel and more money on business travel than domestic travel. The CARES Act was a very substantial lifeline to the airlines. And worldwide, there was similar aid provided to airlines to the tune of $85 billion across the globe. However, this aid has been uneven in the sense that, especially in developing countries, little or no aid was provided. So we can expect those airlines to be much harder hit in the future than airlines, say, in the US and Europe. One aspect of the CARES Act is that it required airlines those who received the money, it required those airlines to not have involuntary furloughs or layoffs. However, that provision will end at the end of September. So we can expect very substantial downsizing on the part of airlines starting in September. So this presents a particular challenge for the airlines in how do they respond and how do they predict demand into the future. So for example, what about those business travelers? Maybe businesses now are getting used to some aspects of doing business under the pandemic. For example, maybe they like some of those Zoom meetings, and maybe there will be permanently less business travel in the future. Certainly in the short term, airlines will have to learn how to do business with much smaller demand, and that will be a challenge for them. It might be instructive to look to the situation after the 2007 crisis, when airlines also were very distressed, and see what happens. Well, a few things happened. One is that there was bankruptcies and much industry consolidation. Also, there were new business products. I say that euphemistically because one of those products, of course, is the unbundling of certain services like those dreaded baggage fees. In the future, I would expect, due to the pandemic, there to also be, I don't expect there to be consolidation immediately, but if the demand is at a low point for a long time, that could certainly happen. But I will expect significant product innovations. For example, some specifically tuned to the pandemic. Maybe you can pay a little extra and get one of those rows with an empty middle seat. Well, I certainly don't know what will happen in the future, but I do know that there's going to be substantial changes in aviation and in air travel, and we will see what happens as time goes on. Thank you.